Do you take levothyroxine? And we're going to talk today about something that's so vitally important: drug interactions and drug nutrient interactions with levothyroxine and thyroid. My name is Tom Jones, Pharmacist, and you are on Tom Jones Pharmacist Live. Thank you so much for being here today. If you take levothyroxine, I want you to right now, I want you to contact your friends, your relatives, and everybody that you know that also takes levothyroxine, and let them know that Tom Jones Pharmacist Live is on YouTube, and have them come into our program. And just have them come into YouTube, look it up, and we're right here. If you'll have questions for us, leave the questions down below. I go back and double check all the questions. I will do this during the show, and I will do it also anytime. I'll go through it the next 2 or 3 days, and just let us know. Even a year later, we answer questions. My name is Tom Jones Pharmacist, and this is Tom Jones Pharmacist Live, and levothyroxine and drug interactions and drug nutrient interactions and more. All right, you want to know answers, and I want to tell you about multiple vitamins and levothyroxine. Listen, there's a drug interaction there. I want to give you a number, and this is the number of drug interactions and drug nutrient interactions is 486. That's what I have been researching and have found with levothyroxine. Now, you need to know these because it's going to affect how you react to the drug, and it's simple. It may not be the fact that the drug is working as well because of the drug-drug interaction or the drug-nutrient interaction or some other process. So, if you take a vitamin, a multiple vitamin with minerals, I want you to do this. Always, and forever take it at least 4 hours from the time that you take your levothyroxine. And if your doctor prescribes these together, you need maybe a dose adjustment or a special test to tell if they're working together properly, because you do not want to not get the full therapeutic effect of the drug. You want to get that therapeutic effect. Now, let's talk about something else that we didn't even mention. We're going to talk about food and levothyroxine. The timing of when you eat is so vitally important. It will affect the absorption of the medication. So you have to be on levothyroxine or any thyroid at a specific time, always. And you need to take it not at the time of the meal. The levothyroxine should be taken before the meal, because that way you do not have the fluctuations in the blood level of the levothyroxine. In addition, the absorption of levothyroxine may be decreased by foods such as soybean flour, cottonseed meal, walnuts, dietary fiber, calcium fortified juices. These should always be avoided within several hours of dosing. You've got to do this. It's not whether you want to do it. Do it because it's going to affect how the medication acts in the body. So, and when levothyroxine is actually given when there's nutrition, tube feedings for more than 7 days, the tube feeding should be interrupted for at least an hour before and an hour after the dose of the levothyroxine. Now, this is entirely up to the doctor and the facility that you're at, or however you're getting the medication, the hospital, etc. But this is something that you are responsible for. Yes, you need to be in charge of your medications always. Let's talk next about high blood pressure. Thyroid hormones, levothyroxine in particular, and cardiovascular disease. Levothyroxine causes an increase in the action of the myocardial contractibility of the heart and the heart rate as a result of increased metabolic action with the body. The oxygen and demands of the body affect that thyroid dosage. So the therapy with thyroid hormones, including levothyroxine, needs to be adjusted and administered cautiously and at reduced doses when you have a patient who is just starting it with cardiovascular disorder. And that includes coronary artery disease, it includes high blood pressure, it includes angina. So the monitoring has to be done more closely in this situation because levothyroxine increases and makes the body work better. And the dosage of thyroid hormones may have to be reduced. So you want to have the doctor knowing that you, if you have cardiovascular disease, that's something the doctor has got to know. So it's just a fact as it is. It's just a fact that it is. All right, let's keep going. And we've got now diseases. And I'm going to go over 5 diseases, 5, that actually you need to have I'm going to just mention these diseases. But your doctor has to know that you have these diseases if you're on levothyroxine or any thyroid. Seizures, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, we've already mentioned it, adrenal insufficiency, and we're going to actually talk about this. I've got some wonderful information, and I'll have this at the end of the week that you'll be able to actually download that gives a little bit more idea of what I'm talking about here. Because I'm going to mention adrenal insufficiency, but there's more to it. And that's going to be a special handout that you'll be able to download, but not till the end of the week. So adrenal insufficiency, better known now as and I'll give you the name of it in just a second. All right, the 5th one is thyrotoxicosis, but the adrenal insufficiency actually involves the brain, and the hypothalamus is actually going to be giving signals to the pituitary, to the adrenal, and to the thyroid. And these signals play a major role in how you feel and how the body functions, and in about every situation with the whole body. This process is complex, complicated, and it may be why you aren't doing as well with levothyroxine as you should be doing. So again, adrenal insufficiency, cardiovascular disease, thyrotoxicosis, diabetes, and seizures. All of those are key important. By the way, my name is Tom Jones, Pharmacist. You are on Tom Jones Pharmacist Live, and if you've just joined us, you haven't missed it all. You'll be able to go into YouTube and get the replay. Be sure to tell your friends, have everybody come see us. Come see us on YouTube, and Tom Jones Pharmacist is where you go. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep trucking. So the next one is going to be the different classifications of clinical reactions to the body. Remember, I said there's 486 drug, nutrient, and drug-drug interactions that occur in the body. That's so many that you really are not going to be able to memorize every single one of these. But you need to know the drug and the drug nutrient that is involved here. First, there's major considerations, and the doctors really got to actually look at these and say, we got to avoid these combinations. And those are major drug interactions and drug nutrient problems, but there's moderate ones, and moderate clinical sufficient, but you can not use them in these situations unless there's special circumstances. Then there's minor drug-nutrient interactions and drug-drug interactions. These are minimally significant clinically. There's a minimal risk, but you have to access the risks and the alternative drug, and you have to take steps to circumvent the reaction risk or institute a monitoring plan. And one thing that I will caution you totally, under no circumstances, and I know people don't want to hear this, I know you don't want to hear it, but don't stop taking your thyroid medication under any circumstance without talking to your doctor. That is an absolute. So here's how you want to tell your doctor and go over it with your doctor about everything. That's why you go to a doctor. So now let's keep going. We'll keep going, and we're going to actually talk about we're talking about the drug here called levothyroxine. And there's many names here for the drug. Synthroid is levothyroxine. Levoxyl is levothyroxine. Tyrosint, Tyrosint, is levothyroxine. Levothyroid is levothyroxine. And there's more. There's also Naturethroid, Nature-Throid, and there's Armour Thyroid. Now there's a difference between the Armour Thyroid and levothyroxine. Levothyroxine is T4. Remember that. Levothyroxine is T4. And Armour Thyroid is a combination of T4 and T3. So, the combination product actually has both the T4, which is the weaker form of thyroid, and the triiodotyrosine, which is the T3 form of thyroid. T3 is stronger. T4, being the weaker one, actually is in the body for about 7 days. So it has a fairly long half-life. T4 actually is not the active form. In the body, it needs to be made into T3 with enzymatic action in the body. That's a whole nother lecture. That's a whole nother process. T3 has a much shorter half-life. T3 is stronger. It's the active form. Armour Thyroid used to be the #1 product years and years and years and years ago. But Levothyroxine is now the #1 product and has been for quite a few years. And they're both used extensively in thyroid disorders. And for the Hashimoto's disease, you use those items. In underactive thyroid, which is hypothyroidism, you use these items also. So I want you to know that there are alternatives. And then there's compounded thyroid. Compounded thyroid are thyroid products compounded at a compounding pharmacy that actually utilizes it in a specialized form whereby you can have individualized dosages. And I'm not going to advocate anything about the difference between the three items, other than the fact that they are all prescription only. You cannot obtain these without a prescription. You do not want to go to your doctor and try to change intermittently between these. You have to actually have these. It takes a while for the body to access and build up so that you get the therapeutic levels. So that's a whole nother lecture also. So let's keep going, and we're going to actually go into some of the different drugs here. So, all right. We are going to talk about now the different conditions. There are tests. The TSH test is something that we'll talk about in the next series of talks. And what we'll do today, we're going to stop now, right exactly where we're at. This is enough to go over today. I will be back tomorrow, and we'll go over a whole nother set of issues that relate to levothyroxine. This is a series that's on Tom Jones Pharmacist Live right here on YouTube. And we want you to get the best information in the entire world related to thyroid, because thyroid gives you energy, and if you don't have the energy, that's a big time problem. But it may not be as simple as getting the right dosage. It may be that there's foods and there may be some drug interactions, drug-nutrient, drug-drug interactions between the levothyroxine and your medication. So, with that being said, we're going to actually see you tomorrow. I thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day.